Seems like it might be a little play on words here, but there is a difference between loaning and investing.
Yes.
Because we have investment companies in the United States. Mutual funds would be an investment company, or just plain investment companies, private equity companies. They're all investment companies. They invest money with expecting a return on that investment, but it isn't guaranteed.
Yeah, but in Islamic investment, you become partner, but you do not know whether your investment will bring profit or maybe you will lose the business. So this is the risk you are taking in Islam.
Right. So the point that I want to make here is that in Islamic finance and Islamic banking or Islamic lending, because there's a difference between a bank. We use the word bank in the United States, and I don't want to confuse banking, because it's really not banking. I mean, Islamic finance, and it's not called lending, and Islamic investment companies really are companies that invest money with people or businesses, or they invest in assets or something like that, and they share in the profits. So the basic difference is you have to make sure that the person you're investing with has good character.
Yes, exactly.
In other words, the subprime mess that we've just gone through, and the United States losing trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars and billions of dollars, is because it wasn't a partnership relationship. It was just based on a piece of paper. The piece of paper looked good. Someone had a credit score that looked okay. No one checked to see if they had any money. The financial institution loaned the money out for a 6 or 7 or 8 or 9% return with no substance or anything to the transaction. That wouldn't have happened in Islamic banking.
No. The Islamic bank is you need to take some risk. You are become partner, so you are partner. So
Okay, so on that point, can the Islamic financial institution or investment company once they invest the money, for lack of a better word, we'll use loan the money, for those people that don't understand or are a little confused. So once the Islamic investment bank loans the money, can they sell that loan to somebody else, or do they have to keep the loan?
well,
In other words, can they broker the loan?
no. This is between you and your institution.
Okay, so if you're following strict Sharia compliance, then brokering deals is not strict Sharia.
Yes.
Okay, because there are Sharia financial institutions or banks out there that say that they're Sharia compliant, but really what they're doing is they're doing the same thing as every other financial institution. They just go out and they sell the loan to the individual for a house, and then the loan gets bought out by Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac or something like that. That wouldn't be considered Sharia.
Yeah, that is not perfect Sharia.
Sharia. So in other words, you'd have to keep the loan and you'd have to service it.
Yes,
That's what makes it Sharia.
Yeah, that is you and between you and your institution.
Right. We've talked about this before. We know that there's some quote-unquote Sharia financial institutions or Sharia banks in the United States. I've done some checking on them. I don't want to badmouth anybody that's out there. Do you think there's any Sharia banks in the United States or financial institutions that are 100% compliant in the United States?
Not really, not really. They are trying to become Sharia compliance,
Right.
but not purely 100%. You cannot call it Sharia.
So if you were 100%, you couldn't be loaning any money out for for interest, or you couldn't be giving any money out with a fixed rate. So you can't tell somebody you're going to give them a fixed rate.
Right. You cannot give money in a fixed rate. So this is the riba.
Right. So if you're giving a fixed rate, then of course that would be the riba. So riba would be interest. So you would be breaking the Sharia.
Yeah. Right. So if you want to make money, you want to be partner, and your business should be fit one of the Sharia approved method that in Islam is hundreds of years Muslims are doing business, mudaraba, musharaka, murabaha, those kind of business you need to do.
Okay, so to sum up our discussion for today, and we want to thank Imam Noor for visiting with us in Austin, Texas. Al Hidayah Group has profit and non-profit corporations. Barron Rock Industries is one of those corporations that is working towards becoming 100% Sharia compliant. It's not 100% yet. The purpose of our discussion today was to introduce you to Islamic finance, banking, and how Muslims do business. The key points today are there's no riba, which would be interest. There's no charging of riba, which would be interest. People that loan money as Islamic financial institutions become partners, as opposed to just money lenders.
Yes.
Okay, and they would share in the profits and the losses of the individual that they're loaning the money to, which is not exactly a loan. It is more of a investment.
Yeah, if it's when it's come to mudaraba, if you lost the business, that's the scholar has some disagreement whether business lost just because negligence of the mudarib or just the natural things. If it is negligence, then he need to bear the consequences too. Or if it is natural, it's happened, then he lost his time and his effort. But the Rabbul Mal, the financier, need to bear responsibility.
So they're all sharing in the burden
Yes.
of the profit or loss of the
Yes,
business.
exactly, somehow.
Well, it's very much different from the way we conduct business in the United States, and I have to say this because you know me fairly well, and the reasons why we're having problems in the financial community today is because there were no real basic principles or concepts where the financial institution shared in the profits and losses. It was basically the financial institutions in the United States loaned out money to whoever they felt they wanted to loan out to, and then sold those loans to other people all over the world and packaged them and securitized them in order to just make a return on invested capital, and of course that all blew up. If they were responsible for sharing in the profits or losses, then we may have seen something a little different, but basically what they were doing is brokering loans and then packaging them and selling them off to somebody else. And of course we find that that doesn't work. Imam Noor, is there anything else that you'd like to say about finance and Islamic business?
Well, I would like to mention one of the beautiful ayah in Surah Nahl. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually in drawing our attention that, hey, look at the ships on the ocean, coming across the ocean, breaking the wave of water, bringing good from one place to another place, is indicating وَتَرَى الْفُلْكَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, look at those ships, how they transport good from one place to another places. So basically, God Almighty, drawing our attention, then do business. The business is most important. So if you do business, if you make money, it's nothing wrong to make money, because Uthman, one of the wealthiest men in Medina, who was the third Khalifa, son-in-law of Prophet Muhammad, he was a wealthy man. So Islam encourages people to do business, and it's called bounty. When you finish your prayer, go and seek the bounty of God, work, and also Prophet Islam mentioned, as I mentioned before, that kasbul halal faridatun min al-faraiz. The lawful earning is one of the obligation. You cannot just sit in the mosque and pray and that's it. You need to do business. And when you come to business, you need to be honest. You need to be trustworthy. And that is most important thing for the Muslim community. When they do business, they cannot just make money and lie. In Islam, you need to declare that if anything wrong on the product, especially you are in a salesperson, you cannot hide the fault. So when it's come to Islamic business, it's very easy. You need to be trustworthy, and you need to declare and disclose any fault on your product. So basically, Islam encourages people to do business, and that is why when you make money, you will be able to pay zakat. Which is one of the obligatory charity due to the poor, and it has been mentioned in the Quran that فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. That means in their wealth there is a right for the poor and needy. That means only in Islam it has been declared the right of the poor. Sometimes when we give charity, we think that we are doing some favor, but Islam said no, it's not favor. It's their right. Somehow it's come to you. You need to pay them back. So how we give? This is if we work hard, if we make money, then we need to pay zakat too. So basically, in Islam, it's a great deal of encouragement to do business, and when we do business, we need to be honest, and that's we will keep receiving the word from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala.
Imam Noor, thank you very much for visiting us with us today. This is Mike Massetti. Assalamu alaikum from alhadayagroup.com.